Hi guys. I want to reach a topic to you that my wife she just left for work. My kids are in bed, so there may be some language in this video that may be offensive to you. So if you don't like language, I do apologize. But this is pretty much passionate to me. Okay, why women feel that they're never wrong? Okay, if you're not married, you clearly will not know what the fuck I'm talking about. Clearly, you will not know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay. If you are not married, you will clearly not know. Okay. Now, men, as a man, okay, we will admit we are wrong and we will clearly do whatever we can to fix whatever wrongdoing that we possibly did for whatever reason it is. And there are times that and I will personally say this as for myself. Um, I will say it like this. For instance, my wife will say that I've done this or I did that, and I'm not saying that I don't get pissed. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't get pissed because there are times where I get generally livid because I am so sick and tired of hearing the same old bullshit over and over again. I can do something like clean the whole fucking house. I could do this. I could do that. I could do this. I could do that. But yet I hear from my wife, I'm doing the very best that I can. Oh, that's usually her go-to thing. I'm doing the best that I can, or I'm trying, or and here's the big one, okay? And I've been in a lot of relationships in my day, and this is the one go-to thing that I've heard from a lot of women say, and clearly you just back off and let them do whatever it is that they feel like they need to do, but their go-to phrase is, "I know what I'm doing." Okay, okay, here you go. I will back off and I will let you do whatever it is that you feel like you know how to do. But at this very point, it's like this. It's like, are you serious? Okay, everything that I could have fixed in 30 minutes, now I've got to spend hours redoing because you clearly knew what you were doing. And then she wants to play like it was my fault that, well, you should have told me that I wasn't doing something that you should have told me that I was doing something wrong. Well, if I'm supposed to tell you that you're doing something wrong, clearly I'm not supposed to because clearly you know what you're doing. Clearly you don't. Um, and for you married men out there, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, how you do it, or anything else like that, you're wrong. And when you do apologize, it's like handing your wife a loaded fucking gun. I mean, you handed her an assault rifle with a banana clip holding 150 fucking rounds. And trust me, everything that you have done wrong from point A to point Z and everything in between A and Z, she's going to point that shit out to you and she's going to ramble it off to you. Okay, this is how you are honestly, men, this is how you clearly understand that you've won the argument. Okay. Um, I'm going to steal something from Bill Blur, but I can't help but not agree with the man. Okay, for instance, when you have won the argument, okay, for whatever reason it is that the argument's being started over, uh, they will go rogue. They will use your mother, what you've done. You may have gotten whatever the point is, they will use that against you and they will pick and they will pick and they will pick and they will pick and they will pick. Now, I have said before that I've been in jail before, and years ago, before when I went to jail before, I was not married. And I always wondered why some of these guys, okay, you clearly hit your woman, or you slapped them. And I'm like, you clearly did this, dude. I mean, now this is the reason why you're in jail. After being married, okay, and I don't personally hit women. I've never laid my hand on a woman a day in my life. But honestly, I'm starting to understand why some of these guys go rogue and they just pow. You know, I know, I know. There's no reason to actually lay your hands on a woman. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever to lay your hand on a woman. I understand that. I don't need to be told that. I was taught that all my life. A man should never lay his hands on the opposite sex. With that being said, oh, and there's no reason in the world to hit a woman. I can give you 150 reasons right now, right off the top of my head, right off the top of my head. And with that being said, I'm not going to go through the list of things, but I can clearly give you some reasons. You know, and if it ain't isn't your wife, it's your fucking mother-in-law. I mean, clearly, okay, I'm grateful for my mother-in-law. Okay, this old cliche that the mother-in-law is evil. She is clearly evil. Leave her alone. That's hardwired. That's 1950s talk. And back in the day talk where the mother-in-law is evil. Oh, she's over at the house to nitpick at you. Well, there are some really good mother-in-laws out there. Okay, granted, my mother-in-law passed away before I married my wife. Okay, um, I regret not I regret that I couldn't get to know her a lot better. I wish I could. Um, she's, her passing away. Um, as at least being here on a in a physical level, walking the earth, she has missed out on a lot of great things with our kids, and I wish she could have seen. But you can't live your life full of regrets, and life does go on. And personally, I feel that's what she would want myself and my wife to do is clearly go on and do the best that we absolutely possibly can for our children. With that said, being the best that you can as a man, I feel like if you're a man and if you admit that you're wrong and you try to fix it, you're actually facing the battle ahead. Okay, you told me what I did wrong. Okay, I didn't take the garbage out when I was supposed to. I didn't change the oil in the car when I was supposed to. I didn't rotate the tires when I was supposed to. Okay, the grass got a little bit taller than what you wanted it to, or I didn't rake the leaves exactly when you wanted to. Okay, with that said right there, just tell me. Just tell me. I'll go out, I'll fix it. I'll make it all better. But with that said, right there, I've been married before where I had a mother-in-law come over and just nitpick on every fucking thing that I've done. Everything. Every fucking thing. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? You're in my house telling me what the fuck to do? Okay, personally, lady, I love you because you're the mother of my of the woman that I chose to be with for the rest of my life. The woman that I hope to have children with. Clearly, I have love and respect for you, but honestly, I'm not fucking you. That's my father-in-law's problem. Okay, and clearly, if you're over here fucking nitpicking at me, he's probably doing something else like fixing his car or going off to the gun range, going fishing, or whatever it is that he is, or playing around the golf, because clearly you woke up with a vendetta, of I'm gonna be mad at the world, and I'm gonna be a man hating bitch today, and so I'm gonna piss off every man that I can find. These women right there. I'm sorry, I don't believe in hitting women, but that's just personally me. But who am I to say? Um, I but with that said, right there, I feel like if a man can actually fix what it is, whatever problem he has, that his to me, I understand that if you're a police officer, a soldier, or a firefighter, doctor, or whatever, to a lot of people, you are a hero. You're a lifesaver. You do this, you do that. You know, okay. I give that to them, and I salute them. I applaud them. The doctors, they've gone through a lot of schooling to get to where they're going to actually perform whatever field of medicine that they're doing. A police officer, they choose that. They chose that. They went to they either went to academy for it, went to school for it, or they came out of the military and they have the qualifications to be a police officer. Okay, you choose to put that badge on. You choose to put that gun belt around your hip with the mace, with the pepper spray, the asp, and the taser gun. Driving a little squad car around with the little bubble gum lights on the top of it. You choose to do that. You choose to do that. You choose to fight crime every day. And, I mean, there's not a lot of people that can actually do that. There's some cops out that are good, there's some cops out that are bad. But whatever the case may be, you still choose to put that uniform on, just like a soldier. Okay, nobody forced you unless you are drafted, and which last time I looked, we don't have a draft anymore. But the last time I checked, you're the one who walked into a recruiting office, started talking to your recruiter, and next thing you know, you're signing that piece of paper saying, "Okay, I want to join the Marines, the Air Force, the United States Army, United States Navy, the Coast Guard, United States Air Force, or the National Guard, or be a weekend warrior." Um, and the Army Reserves. Okay, I get that. Okay, you choose to do that, and I applaud you and I thank you for your service, because guess what? There's some people out there that wish that they could do it, but they can't. Okay, but I applaud you, but nonetheless, you chose your path. You chose to do that. But my point is, okay, there's not a lot of people who want to change. There's not a lot of guys out there, or women, who actually want to change, who actually want to better themselves and say, "Okay, I've done wrong. I want to fix this and make myself better, to make myself a better individual, to go out there, and that way my children and my family can look at me and say, you know what? He messed up, or she messed up, and you know he or she bounced back, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. They didn't do a 360 degrees, because if you do a 360, you're right back to where you started, and you're starting to whack the same wall again with the little bitty ball peen hammer. That's gonna you're it's like a Shawshank Redemption. It's taken you 20 years to tunnel through over 20 years to tunnel through a wall to gather your freedom, when you could take a big huge sledgehammer and bash that shit and knock it down with a few whacks and move on with your life and rebuild that wall. Okay, if you do a 180, you actually stop and you look back and you go, "Hey, that's what I did wrong. I did that wrong. I'm doing whatever I can to fix it." Rather, you're doing it yourself. You're seeking counseling for it. You're taking medication for it. Or you're just you just sit there. You meditate. You gather your thoughts, and you're thinking, "Hey, I did this. I did this wrong. Um, so clearly, I fucked up. I truly, honestly fucked up. I should have done this. And so now I'm going to fix it." In my terms, if you actually face the fact that you admit that you are wrong, that you fix the problem in hand, and you show your family, rather if you have children or not. Okay, for instance, like me, I do have children. Okay, do you want to do that 180-degree turn and go right back, and your children go, "Hey, hmm, okay, well, Dad just drove that car drunk and plowed it into a tree, or just or he did this, or he did that, or he did whatever the case may be." Okay, when they get old enough, okay, hey, if it's okay for Dad, it's okay for me. So I'll just go right up and I'll drink that bottle of booze, or I'll drink that six pack of beer. And guess what? I'll take my car keys and I'll get in that car and I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna fucking drive, because if it was okay for Daddy, it was okay for me. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Okay, what you need to do is do that 180 degrees thing. That way, when your kids grow up and say, "You know what? Dad didn't do that. I seen Dad do it once, but he told me that it's not good for me to do it." I shouldn't do this. It's wrong. I need to be better than my father because he's told me you need to be better than me. I mean, isn't that what every parent wants is for their child to be better than them? It's repetitive. I mean, you see these children out here using phrases as and you uneducated, beetle-headed, self-absorbed bitch. Can you use something other than like? Um, it's annoying. Okay, everybody wants to pick up their cell phone and oh, hey, I know what everything there is to know. Okay, you know what my cell phone was back in the day? Okay, I was born in 1978. Okay, for you kids that are watching during that time, in 1978 through the mid 90s, or actually up until a few years ago, when the internet was right at the tip of your fingers all the time, because the internet didn't really come around until 1994, 1996. Okay. And when the internet did come around, you sat there and waited for that idiotic sound. You know the sound. For those who actually know what the hell I'm talking about. You got this big, huge freaking box right here, and you're waiting for that dial up to come in. And once it does, you're like, oh, hey, cool. And watching a simple video or whatever it is that you're watching on your computer, it's it's like, are you serious? Are you serious? The biggest highlight there was before Facebook was was a group chat where you chatted to people that were in Australia, Germany, this all over the globe. Okay, you didn't have this closed little box of a personal profile where you had this group of friends. You had a group chat where you got to know everybody. You got to meet people in the world that you possibly never meet before in a day in your life, and you actually held intelligent conversations. Going back into the 80s, okay, we didn't have these fancy little phones where you can Google. Oh no, it's going to the library or going into your parents' room and you hope to God that they had something called the encyclopedia. And for you kids out there that doesn't know what the encyclopedia is, the first thing that you find in an encyclopedia, just like you find in the dictionary, the first thing that you learn about in the encyclopedia, going A through Z, is the aardvark. Ooh, the aardvark. Yeah, the aardvark. That's something that you children don't know about, but trust me, you can Google it. You can Google it, and you could just spend most of your time on the phone looking down and all this other stuff. Look up, sweetheart. Look up, kids. There's a vast world around you. If you look around, you're going to see trees. You're going to see other people. You're going to see so many different things. You're going to look up. You're going to see clouds. You're going to see the sun. You're just going to see everything that's around you. There is a vast knowledge of things around you that you don't know about. You don't have to Google anything if you want to know something. Just actually walk up to somebody and go, "Hey, you actually, hey, you have a Vietnam hat on, um, a Vietnam vet hat on. Okay, there are some cases where they're not from Vietnam, but in most cases they are because you don't wear something like that unless you are a fucking poser. Okay, I do not believe in stolen valor. Stolen valor. Okay, that's like being impersonating a police officer. You're gonna get in trouble. Okay, but my point is, ask them. Ask them. Okay, you can Google something all day long about a certain subject all day long, but that doesn't account for going up to a person and say, "Excuse me, are you comfortable of talking about, or were you actually in Vietnam?" "Yes, I was." This is how the conversation goes. "Excuse me, sir, were you really in Vietnam?" "Yeah, what made you what gave you that clue?" Sir, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you, but you have the Vietnam veteran baseball cap on. May I ask you a couple questions if you're comfortable with answering them? What is it that you want to know? Okay, if you don't if you don't ask them, they can't tell you. Okay, you could read everything out of these little textbooks and Google everything that you can from the internet, but how are you going to actually know about it until you actually ask somebody who has actually been there? They have actually jumped out of them helicopters and in the jungles of Vietnam, dodging the punji sticks and the traps and the landmines and being shot at. And they've been through this stuff. How are you going to know unless you ask one of them? They've been there. I've found more out about World War II and the Korean War in Vietnam because I had family members that were actually there. Now, granted, the only family member that I have left that was in World War II, he is 92 years old, and he was in the Navy. Granted, he was in the engine room. But one of the stories that he shared with me is right after they dropped the bomb on Japan because he fought in the Pacific part of World War II and in the Navy. He was in the Pacific. When he docked, everybody else got off the ship, but he could not face getting off the ship because there was a lot of dead bodies floating in the water, and they were on land. Um, he just couldn't do it. He went back to whatever he was doing that was getting off the boat because he just couldn't do it. He couldn't go out there having fun when there was so much death around him. It actually, told me it physically made him sick of his stomach. And he says there's days where he still can close his eyes and he still envisions that in his head, that horror, that horror of war that is that is embedded into his head that he can never get out. The man seen this. How can you discredit something like that? Okay, he was clearly in World War II. He was clearly in Japan when he was about to disembark off his ship for R&R. And for you people that don't know what R&R is, especially you young little punk kids that do not know what R&R is, I was never in the military. I was in JROTC, but at least I do know what R&R is. That's rest and relaxation. For you that do not know what rest and relaxation is, that's like you sitting there with your little earbuds in, sitting there. Life isn't always about the internet. Life isn't always about video games and social media. Social media to me is actually walking around and going, "Hi, how you doing?" You know, that's social media to me. Hi, how are you doing? What is it that you're doing today? How are you doing today? Oh, I noticed that you have, whatever. Everybody is so intent on going up to our soldiers and going, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. I'm guilty of that. I will go out of my way to see a man in uniform, a man or woman in uniform and say, "Hey, thank you for your service." But I also do that with doctors. I do that with firemen. I do that with police officers. I do that with paramedics. Do they not serve our community as well? Does a doctor not deserve, "Hey, thank you"? Because it could be very well that doctor could save your child's life, could save your life, could save your girlfriend's life, your mother's life, your father, whoever it is that's close to you, your best friend, whatever. And you're like, oh, wow, that doctor and that nurse is absolutely amazing. But they work together to save your loved one's life. That firefighter, did he not just put out the fire at your house? Did that paramedic did not just come over and do CPR, or come over and check you out to make sure or make sure that your grandfather was not actually having a heart attack? Did that police officer just come to your house and stop that person from breaking into your home, or stop that person from sticking a gun to your face or beating the crap out of you? You know, did that nurse not just take care of your mother? That nurse did not just help take care of your wife. Oh, we want to give the doctors all the credit in the world in the hospital. Well, what about that nurse? Did she not just go in there and do exactly what the doctor asked, do what the doctor prescribed you need to be doing? Or how about that physical therapist that you work with all the time to help you walk again? When's the last time you thanked them for their service? We all wear different uniforms. We all wear different uniforms. I'm that one person that goes up to the plumber or the cable guy or the guy who climbs up our power poles, and clearly he's doing a very dangerous job. So you and I can have lights come on in our house, and I go up to him and say, "Hey, dude, thank you, sir, thank you, ma'am," and they look at you puzzling, like, "Why are you thanking me for my service? I'm just doing my job." Yeah, well, you're doing it well. You just made sure that I can keep power in my house for another day. You just made sure that the trash doesn't build up in my yard. You just made sure that the water is running consistently into my house. You thank somebody for something. Tell them that they're doing a good job. That person that you come to in the grocery store, Walmart, it may not seem like they're doing much. They're punching a bunch of numbers on the cash register, taking your money. Hey, have a nice day. You know, it may not be. They could be having a bad day too, just as well as you are. But can't you go up to this person and say, "Hey, doing a good job. Thank you for that." Personally, if I was behind that cash register and somebody came up to me and told me that, actually go home and be like, "Wow, I don't know what I did, but you just made my day a little bit better." Or you're going into that restaurant, you're thinking, that waitress is only making $2 and some odd cents an hour, but you know what? You're pulling off tips. You know what? Thank her. Thank you, sweet. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I feel like you're doing a really good job. That's going to actually encourage her, and for whatever reason, because she may not want to be a waitress for the rest of her life. She could be putting herself through college. And for you perverts out there that's watching that girl on the pole dancing, and she's taking off her clothes and all of this stuff, you may be a pervert. Tell her, "Hey, you were a good dancer. You're doing a good job. Thank you." I may be a pervert, and my junk my thing may be standing up at attention, but nonetheless, you're still doing a good job. But hey, it is what it is. I'm done with my rant. Thank you for listening to me. If you like my videos, like it. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you want to. If you don't like me, that's fine. Just at least let me know in the comments. Hey, you know what, dude? You're off base. You're completely wrong, and I'll accept that. Thank you. Cool. I'm good with that. It's 9:54 where I'm at right now, and so I've got to get up in the morning to make sure that my children get off to school, are doing what they're supposed to be doing to start their day. So, everybody, you have a nice day and a good night, and get addicted to anything good. Get addicted to the positive because everything positive in your life, be thankful for it because at the drop of a hat, it can just turn right around on you. And it's not like it can't be fixed. If you like my channel, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Hit the little bell icon on right on the side there, so you can so you're one of the first people to get to watch my videos. Um, Comment on my videos, and comment on what you see right here. Let me know what you think about everything that I've said. Please leave a detailed message about it. And if you are a subscriber to my channel, I will give you a shout out and let you know that, hey, I agree with what you said, or I don't agree with what you said. Um, let's get together and we can have a friendly debate. I like the test your intelligence thing. Test my intelligence lets me know, hey, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. You know, I'm a researcher. I like to research things. I like to make sure that what I have to say is actually accurate of what I'm saying, and I'm not just spouting out the mouth and just throwing off random numbers. Because, in my personal opinion, you throw off random numbers, you just seem more dumb than what you really are, and you sound a lot dumb than what you really making yourself. You're just making yourself look more stupid than what you truly are. Um, Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the little icon, comment below. Y'all have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. I live in each and every one of you out there. Um, love one another. Love one another. Peace out.